The dwarven champion, gathering his strength, rises up, looking to aid his people. Suddenly he is gripped with a horrifying thought. What of the humans? Quickly looking in their direction, seeking to see how they have fared after the massive explosion. He was horrified. They took as much damage as the dwarves. Thankfully, the Crimson and Holy Knights were able to put up a barrier protecting most of their friendlies nearby. The old man, barely alive, on the edge of the barrier, was a horror to behold. The Black Knight was nowhere to be seen. Hopefully he was not a victim of that massive explosion, the champion thought. Suddenly a terrifying scream could be heard from behind. The dwarven champion's face strewn with horror and terror. He slowly turned around, looking into the depths of that void, thinking to himself, it cannot be. There is simply no way. Suddenly something burst forth out of the hole, flapping its mighty wings in the air. The creature had lived, though its size had been greatly reduced to that of an average human height. Its face clearly showing pain, rage, and displeasure at what the dwarves had done to it. Though its size had shrunk, its power was still just as terrifying. The dwarven champion believed this was the end. There was no more fight left in the dwarves. He could barely stand. Their weapons were in ruins. Suddenly, a dark light could be seen bursting from the side, striking the beast. As it was launched into the ground with such force that the ground trembled, as if a massive earthquake had just occurred. And there, in the distance, could be seen the Black Knight, standing in mid-air as if he were truly capable of flight. Launching himself forward, the Black Knight took his blade in hand, striking the beast as it barely managed to stand in the crater it now laid in. The beast barely blocking the strike with one arm, only to be horrified at the fact that the holy armor it had taken from the White Knight was cut clean through along with its arm. The beast tried desperately to get away, terrified at the beast it now faced. Clearly this was no mere human it was against. The Black Knight's power emanated darkness, rage, fury. As he became more and more agitated by the beast's unwillingness to simply die, he struck with greater and greater force. The beast, regenerating its limbs, could not keep up with the ferocity of the Black Knight's attacks. The Black Knight, clasping the beast with his left hand, holding its head tightly, screaming into its face, telling it would suffer long. Flinging it into the air, the Black Knight released a powerful blast of dark energy from the tip of his sword, bursting through the beast's chest. A hole the size of its head could now clearly be seen. Before the beast could even react to try and regenerate, its head was cut clean from its body. Its tentacles that formed its wings were cleaved off, its arms and legs cut asunder. The creature was in awe and horror at the speed and ferocity the Black Knight attacked. The unbridled power. Suddenly it became clear that the Black Knight was not simply striking with his own power. As if on cue, A dark energy could be seen being dragged from the beast's limbs, its body, and even its head, being drawn into the black night as if it were being devoured by him. He screamed out, "How dare they bring your kind into this world? How dare they break the covenant? I will make them all suffer before their end. Have they no respect for the old ways?" As he struck the final blow, destroying the creature without mercy, knowing full well by killing the creature he was killing his old friend, the White Knight. He looked back at the Holy Knight, feeling shame in his heart, knowing what he had just done, unwilling to tell the Holy Knight the truth of what happened long ago to his brother, the White Knight. He returned to the ground next to the dwarf champion, to beg for forgiveness for not being able to aid them sooner in this fight. It should have been he who faced this monster, not they. He should have been the one to deal with it. They should not have lost so many for him, not for a crime they did not commit. He begged for forgiveness. The dwarf champion, confused, horrified, and grateful all at once, simply told the Black Knight there was nothing for him to apologize for. Their debts, their losses, were their own doing. Had they been stronger, had they been wiser, then this beast never would have done so much damage in the first place. They should have never put so much faith in the elves to aid them for this battle. They would make amends for this one day. The Black Knight made a pledge to the dwarf champion that should his people ever need his aid, they need only to ask, and he would gladly serve to his final breath. The dwarf champion, taking his hand, shook it, thankful, saying that the dwarves would never forget the Black Knight and all that he had done. As far as the dwarves were concerned, the humans were as kin to them, and would be treated as such. The Black Knight returned to his own forces, slightly turning and looking at the Holy Knight, not sure how to speak to him. Choosing not to say a word, he simply brushed past. Seeing the young boy, a mage, standing there in horror, looking at him with eyes of disbelief, the Black Knight realized that this young mage knew exactly what he had done. He knew exactly what he was. The boy quickly said he would not tell a soul, and that the Black Knight's secret was safe with him. He gently bowed his head and walked on. The humans took measure of their casualties, looked to aid the dwarves as well, seeing as how they had taken far more losses in the long run. The humans graciously asked if the dwarves wished to return to their homeland, or to come with them to their kingdom, where they might feast, tend to their wounds, and form a brotherhood the likes of which this world has never seen. The dwarves reluctantly said, "We will return home for now, but we will visit you shortly, once we have recovered, and thank you for your aid." This was the beginning of a new era, the beginning of a new world. What will become of them all? If you like this story, please like, share, subscribe, and I shall continue